Hello again. Here I am with our third card for this series. So as you can see, again, bright colors. We've got the gorgeous grape, melon mambo, coastal cabana, daffodil delight. We have got stamped plus cutting, just cutting. We've got an embossing folder here. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Just stamped and cut out with your scissors, so no fancy die cutting there. And I will get started. So again, my cardstock I am going to fold and burnish on my piercing mat. And all of these I, at this particular time, don't have anything stamped inside. Depending on what I'm going to do with them, I might, but not for now. So the white has to be embossed, which I will show you how I do that shortly. But before that, I'm going to do my stamping so that we can do the cutting all at once and only shake the table once. So to stamp, I need to stamp my birthday mail. And again, with my black memento. Don't need a very big piece of paper for putting this greeting together, but you do want to stamp it and let it dry a little bit before cutting it or handling it of any kind. So that is that. Then on each of these, I am going to stamp with our big flower and then leave room beside it to cut out with. So we're going to have this cutting, and then this is the die to cut. So again, you could get 2 cards out of a quarter sheet of paper like that. But I'm going to do the stamping, and I showed you in a previous video about having my simple chamois right on the desk. This is a prime reason you would do that, because obviously if you're moving from color to color, you're going to need to clean. Another recommendation would be to start with your lightest, and I know they're all pretty bright, and I've got the wrong one open, but I'm going to start with the Daffodil Delight, just in case I don't get it totally clean. I don't want the color to transfer. And another thing you can do when you're cleaning is what I like to do. Okay, so I've got that stamped. I'm going to clean it. You can't see that, but I am cleaning it over on the side. And then I can stamp off on a paper towel or a piece of scrap paper. And I know it's clean. So that is my Daffodil Delight. And I can bring that a little closer for next time. Then I have Melon Mambo. And yes, your photopolymer stamps will stain, but it certainly doesn't affect their stamping capabilities. You can see they work. So cleaning is just a matter of rubbing. And then I'm going to stamp. You can see my paper towel's been around for a little bit. So I have those 2 done. I'm going to do, and these are the old stamps, yes. You might be wondering why they look different. I've had them for a number of years. When I buy my ink pads, I always buy the refills so that I can use them indefinitely. And that this time of year, we're now in February, and we are having a new catalog come out in May. So we know there will be some in colors, they're called, retiring when that new catalog comes out. So if you haven't purchased your refills for your ink pads, I strongly suggest that you do that so that you can carry on stamping for a long time with the same tools you have. So there are my 4 flowers, and the stamp is clean and ready to go back in the case. now all we need to do is a bit of embossing, dry embossing, cutting, and assembly. So I will bring in the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, and I want to share with you the embossing. So these are embossing folders. They are, some of them are 3D, some of them aren't. There's quite a variety of types that we have right now, and this one is the pine wood planks. Again, because Stampin' Up! Has labeled everything, we can follow that, and I have tested most of mine. So on this particular one, I know that I need a plate 1. I need my embossing folder with the fold going first, and I need, had it here a minute ago, a plate 3 on top of it. We do have a mini cut and emboss machine, which comes with the same kind of plates and everything. This particular folder, because it's 6 inches wide, would not fit through there. We do have smaller folders this size that would fit in the mini. So that is embossed. So that's like we had on there. Now we need to do our cutting. And if you recall, we had plate 1, plate 2, plate 3, the cutting side, and then we are going to put our cardstock with our matched up die and this little guy that's going to go with it. So we're going to have 4 matching flowers that we can assemble. And some scrap pieces, obviously. Just tuck them away because I don't really need them right at the moment. And the same dies. Line them up as best I can. Always make a sandwich, is what it's called. So you need the plates top and bottom somehow. And sometimes there's pieces left. Huh, how about that? I had the gorgeous grape one left on there, and it's still cut. So that's a pretty fantastic tool. That wouldn't recommend that you cut 2 at once of cardstock. You certainly can of designer paper if you're cutting a shape that doesn't need to be lined up with stamped images or designs. And yes, you can stamp on designer paper. Create some very cool projects with doing that. But I will take that piece off this one. And so you might be thinking, oh, this takes forever. But if you plan out what you're doing, and like this, do all your cutting at once, then you can put that away and you know that you're ready to go. It really doesn't take that long. And if you're making multiples, there are great ideas for doing those. Like I would do definitely all my stamping first and then my cutting. And multiples, I strongly recommend using the Stamparatus because things are lined up there. You don't have to worry about finding your center, lining up things or whatever. It's all automatic kind of thing. So I am ready to put my card together. So to begin with, this, I'm just going to cut as best I can around my words, and I'm going to mount them with dimensionals. And It's been said over and over and over that handmade cards are so special. Like I said, I do a lot for extended family, of course, extended family, and what always amazes me is the men thanking me for the cards. The women, I think, oh well, yeah, they would probably like to make some, and therefore they're appreciative. But when I get, and usually it's not a phone call or anything, it's usually just when I see them, they will say, "Ah, I love that card you sent me." And of course, because I make a variety of cards, I have no clue which card I sent him, but graciously say, "You're welcome, and glad you liked it." And carry on. Keep him on my list. But yes, yeah, I have, we're close to some cousins, and their kids and spouses are the ones that always, like I say, just amazes me when they make a point of saying thank you for it. So when you use an embossing folder like this, I do like to use liquid glue because there are grooves and humps and hollows and whatever. And if you, I mean, the other glues would work, but I think this gives you much better adhesion for your projects. So once again, even though there's no stamping on that side, I like to embellish from the back side. My birthday mail is going to be with mini dimensionals, but I'm going to wait until I get my flowers on, I do believe. Oh, I see I didn't cut out my green leaf backing. So I will have to bring back my cut and emboss machine for just a minute. And get rid of the scraps from the flower. And use my Granny Apple Green to cut a leaf, because it really does need the leaf in there. It's not something that I could say, oh well, didn't cut it, not going to need it, but I do need it on this one. So again, I would end up using my take your pick tool to start the release of that from the die, and to also, we do have a brush tool that goes on the end of this tool here. I don't have it because I have the brushes that we had before. So there's my greeting before I lose it. There. Okay, now we are ready to, again, I'm going to attach that. I'm going to put a tiny drops, let's see if I can share with you, just little drops of adhesive on here. And you could, we have adhesive sheets that you could have put behind here and then it would be sticky all over, but don't think it's necessary as long as you can get it to adhere there. It doesn't matter if it's flipped up like that a little bit. And unless you have a brand new bottle of this green glue, as we call it, or multi-purpose glue, you'll hear some of us talking about green glue and wonder what the heck. This is it. And yeah, not that I wouldn't in this particular case, but you saw me with this green over, or the grape over the green. You certainly could mix and match. And I'm going to be doing more and more with this set on my Facebook Lives, and I will do some mixing of colors like that, because I think it's really a neat to be able to do that, perhaps even with designer paper would be good. So those, and again, you don't have to put them exact. You could put them wherever you want. So don't feel you have to follow. This is a guideline. So as I'm going to place them, I don't necessarily need them all in the same order. And you just don't want them coming off the edge of the card because it won't fit in the envelope. I think I'm going to put, and I think what I'm going to do is the bottom ones will be adhered with liquid glue. These are going to have a combination of dimensionals and liquid glue. So I'm going to put just a dab of, and again, this one could have been done with the adhesive sheets, but this will work. And just tuck it there so that we've got some green out here. I'm going to start and whatever you like with your colors. It's your card. I have, when we could have in-person classes, I did. I didn't have a lot of people, but I had gals coming to the house, and they would all, a few of them would be, okay, I've got to make it exactly like yours. How did you do that? Well, I can't remember from one time to the next. That's why you see me looking at these to see what I did. And really, it doesn't matter if you make it a little bit different. I have a cousin that usually comes and makes Christmas cards with me. And she prides herself, and rightly so, in the fact that she does not make them the same. If I make the card go this way, she makes it go this way. And I love it. So there. So on that one, I use dimensionals on the bottom because it's going over a layer, and liquid there. And on this one, I think I'm going to put dimensionals here and here so that maybe this way it is popped up wherever it is. So that was there and there. And again, as long as it's on there and it stays, there's no right or wrong. So now all we have left is our birthday mail and a few sparkly embellishments, because we've got to have sparkle, especially for birthdays. And even with dimensionals, you can lay it like that, and if it's not stuck until I do this. And that's crooked. Oh well. Rule of thumb, if you can't get it straight, make it crooked. Wouldn't want that to be upside down, but there. And rhinestones. So again, just a little bit different on this one. And I think I'm going to put my adhesive away before I get it all over everything. I'm going to put a couple of rhinestones here. As you can see, I have bits and drabs of them from all over. And then I have a few smaller ones, and I'm going to put them right on the flowers because I think flowers need to be sparkly. And we are just about done. Oh, I like that. I really like that. So, there you have it. My cards for you with this particular set. Hopefully that has helped you, and please reach out if you have any questions on what I did, what you think I should have done, and keep in touch. I love keeping contact with other crafters. Hope you enjoy. Take care.